So in short, shadow work is the process of reevaluating and recognizing what no longer serves you. Writing things down and seeing it physically leave your shadow. Chef's kiss. You're gonna go ahead and write those questions in your journal and start answering them. You will finally be able to get to the root of it. Once you see the pattern, once you see the trigger, you'll be able to oppose that. After shadow work comes self-care. Hey guys, it's Michaela. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about shadow work. What is it? How to do it? I would like to brief that I'm moving right now, so you see boxes and other things and I feel like it's the end of the year. Everybody's making vision boards, setting new goals for the new year. As important as it is to make sure you have a vision and know what you're doing for yourself, it's really important to making sure you're asking the right questions so that you let go of what no longer serves you, who no longer serves you, what patterns, what triggers, what trauma, what subconscious beliefs that you are holding that you need to let go of to bring in this new version of yourself. Don't get me wrong, I love that we're doing the vision boards and the inspo. With starting our goals comes reevaluation. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. What exactly is shadow work? To explain, I'm going to be using my book. This is a shadow work guide. I actually got it off a TikTok shop. If you need a beginner, if you don't know what you're doing at all and you just need some help, you need a guide to explain what is shadow work, how to do it, well, other than this video. But if you want like a direct guide, a journal that will help walk you through every step of the way, this is it. I'm holding it up to the screen just in case anybody wants it. But I'm going to be reading the book definition off of here. Y'all, like, look at this. It even has a start date. It even has like the intro is basically telling yourself that this is a commitment. Shadow work is about revealing the unknown. The shadow is an unconscious aspect of your personality that the ego does not identify with. You may experience your shadow when you're triggered in social interactions, relationships, and episodes of anxiety or sadness. The unconscious mind, aka the subconscious mind. This is the part of your mind that dreams, that holds up all your pent up emotions and your deepest rooted beliefs, your childhood, your inner child, your inner teen. The unconscious mind contains repressed emotions from painful events causing impulsive behaviors and unwanted patterns that form your dark side. In short, the shadow is composed of the parts of yourself that you have forgotten, abandoned, and repressed in order to grow and fit in with the mold of society. Okay, so you're probably thinking, if this part of myself is so important to tuck away, then why is it so important to bring it back out? Your subconscious mind has so much power. Although it is overlooked, your subconscious mind holds your patterns, your triggers. So let's say, for example, you're having relationship problems. No matter what, you feel like you're never going to get the love that you deserve because you feel unworthy of it. So let's go into the subconscious mind. You ask yourself, okay, why do I feel unworthy of this relationship? Why do I feel unworthy of love? And then you actually sit and be still and meditate with yourself and listen to what pops out, what your subconscious mind has to say. Oh, my parents never showed me enough attention. Oh, this past romantic relationship, I was treated like shit. So now, since I have experienced that, that's all I believe. But that is not true. Just because you have experienced something in the past does not mean that is your future. In doing your shadow work and focusing on your shadow, your subconscious mind, and being able to ask yourself these questions and sit in your uncomfortability and your darkness allows you to push those beliefs to the surface, to analyze them and realize that this, just because you believe this doesn't mean that has to be your reality. And it allows you to see what the root was so you can oppose that behavior. You can start saying the affirmations that oppose what you are believing. That's where the affirmations come in. But you can make it more strugglesome if you're not knowing what is the root cause. Many of y'all may be saying affirmations, but you don't even know what they mean, or you don't even know why they're important. If you don't take the accountability to understand what is going on with yourself and actually expose this behavior, then you're not going to understand why these affirmations are important, or why you need to repeat them to yourself, and why you can't put the emotion behind the affirmations and help yourself to stay consistent with it and believe them. So in short, shadow work is the process of reevaluating and recognizing what no longer serves you. It is the process of reevaluating your patterns and beliefs so that you can bring in what does serve you, so you can move forward to the new version of yourself, or as others would like to call it, your highest self. If we're going to have consistency towards our goals and towards our vision, then we also need to have the consistency towards ourselves. When you want to manifest something new, you should be taking the physical steps, but you should also be looking towards yourself and asking yourself the questions: how am I getting in my own way? What fears, what patterns are blocking me? how am I standing in my own way? Now that you understand what the basis of shadow work is, now we're gonna get into how do we do shadow work. I'm gonna explain my process. You don't have to do it like this. This is just what works for me. I would like to start off by saying shadow work is not the easiest process in the world. In fact, it's very uncomfortable, and I know that might push some people away. When you start off shadow work, it is important to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's gonna take some time, of course, especially if this is your first time, but you are bringing the parts of yourself that your subconscious has hidden. It's always for a reason, but we can learn things from this. If you ever feel like you're struggling with shadow work, I would just try to remember that throughout the process, that there is a reason why you're doing this, that there is an end goal. Try to remind yourself of the bigger picture, and that this is a form of self-love, and that self-love is not always about taking baths and doing the eye mask and buying yourself flowers, but it's also about self-discipline and doing the hard things. Nobody is here to save you. You are here to take responsibility and accountability for yourself. And that's not saying that you necessarily did anything wrong. It's just saying that you are in control of your life, and that you are going to take action and take responsibility of your life. So as I said before, shadow work is not the most comfortable process in the world. So to start off, I like to make my environment as comfortable as possible. It makes you want to participate in shadow work more if you make your environment comfortable. It welcomes you into shadow work, and it makes you feel more at ease. So for me, I like things to be very aesthetic. I'll light some candles, or I'll light an incense. I feel like having a smell in the background can really help you, just because it anchors you into the present moment. I'll make sure that I'm in comfortable clothes. Please do not wear tight, uncomfortable clothes while you are doing shadow work, because you are going to regret it, because it's not going to benefit you. I'll also get a blanket if I want. This is more of just a comfort item, especially if I get angry. Since we are releasing pent up emotions, I'll squeeze on my blanket. Even if I'm sad, there's just something there to comfort me. Like, it physically stimulates me to have something comfortable like a blanket there. And then I'll also have a glass of water, whatever drink you prefer. I would not suggest drinking coffee while doing shadow work. Coffee is a dehydrant, but it's your preference. It's up to you. I get it if you're a coffee lover, because so am I. To start off with shadow work, I use a journal and a pen or pencil. Writing things down and seeing it physically leave your shadow, chef's kiss. Like, it's just when you see that physical embodiment of this pattern, this expression leaving your body, and just seeing it written down on paper, at least for me, it helped, and it allowed me to feel like I was fully releasing it. You can use a guide like this, a journal that's already ready and has prompts in it. I started off with my own journal, and I got prompts elsewhere. If you do have a shadow work journal, then you're gonna go through the topics of this. This one has different sections, different type of shadow work. This is not sponsored, by the way. If you are a beginner, I would start with root questions like family, relationships. Your relationships are one of your biggest indicators. Or I would look at your vision board, or whatever goals that you have in the future for mind. I would look at those. This is also a form of shadow work, actually, but I would write who you are now and who you want to be. I would put them on two different sides, and then in the middle I would write, what is the separation? What does this person believe, and what does this person believe? Is this a fixed mindset, and is this a growth mindset? In the middle column, once you have what are the separations, I would group those into topics like insecurity, codependency, fear of success, fear of failure. Once you have those topics laid out for yourself, you're going to take one of those topics, and then you're going to go to Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, and then you're going to search that topic with prompt questions or shadow work questions behind it. You're going to evaluate those questions. You're going to see which ones spark the most emotion out of you, or even numbness. You're going to go ahead and write those questions in your journal and start answering them. This is one of the easiest ways to do it, especially if you're a beginner, just because sometimes you don't know what to ask yourself, and that's okay. It's at least important to start. You're going to start answering those questions. You can go as in detail as you need to with your answers. And if you get stuck on a certain shadow question, you're going to sit there and you're going to meditate on it. Because usually if you're stuck on a shadow work question, your subconscious mind is trying to suppress what you're feeling, what you're thinking, because this is a form of protection for yourself and your brain. The way your brain works, it wants to protect you. It's going to try to push that question down. In this process, I would be patient with yourself, just because sometimes it takes a while for the answer to come up. And especially if you're having friction with the question, that's usually the question that you need to answer the most. If you can't give yourself an immediate answer, I would meditate on it. sleep on it until that answer comes out. In my personal experience, I'll be struggling with a question and I won't know the specific answer. I'll take a deep breath, a couple if I need to, and I've noticed that even if I can't answer the question then and there, I'll have a dream later that night or a couple nights later that will be a symbolic representation of what my answer is, what is my fear, why I had friction towards that question. Or a certain memory will pop up and I'll be like, okay, I need to take a deeper dive into this and I need to see how I felt during this memory, and then you will finally be able to get to the root of it. Once you see the pattern, once you see the trigger, you'll be able to oppose that. You can also do shadow work meditations if that works better for you, or even just talking out loud. So after you've done your shadow work, you've released your pent up emotion. You're not exactly done yet, because after shadow work comes self-care. Shadow work, although it is necessary, it can be very tiring. It can take a lot of energy out of you, especially if you're uncovering and unrooted things that haven't been touched in years, and it can take a toll on you. And that doesn't mean that you're necessarily doing anything wrong. It just means that you need to care for yourself after this process. You can do meditation, you can do some deep breathing, you can take a bath, whatever you need to nurture yourself or makes you feel your best, please do it. You need to be able to refill your cup after this process. Just make sure you're doing proper self-care. And with shadow work, make sure you're taking breaks when you need to. In my opinion, shadow work is not an everyday activity. You still need to be able to live your life, and if you're constantly releasing and not pouring back into yourself, you're gonna get tired, and you don't want to always be in the space of your shadow. Although shadow work helps you get comfortable with your shadow and helps you integrate those parts of yourself, you need to have balance. So just keep that in mind while you're doing shadow work. Even if you are in a season of healing, you have the rest of your life to do shadow work. Not saying that you should put it off, just be mindful that you are human. Alright, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a great day, a great week. Please make sure to like and subscribe, it helps out the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.